Hello everyone, it's Nick, and day one of NBA free agency. In the words of Erykah Badu, what a day, what a day, what a day. Yeah, I'm not here for vocals, I'm here to give you YouTube content, so yeah, what a day. Oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about, and I'm sure by the time you're seeing this, more big transactions will come, so I'm just gonna give you what already happened as I'm recording this. So, Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso to the Chicago Bulls. PJ Tucker and Kyle Lowry to the Miami Heat. Dwight Howard once again going back to the Los Angeles Lakers, as well as Trevor Ariza, Wayne Ellington, and Kent Bazemore. Derrick Rose re-signed with the Knicks. Chris Paul re-signed with the Suns. Whew. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So if you're new here, if you can consider liking for the YouTube algorithm, subscribing for more sports content like this, and hitting the notification bell, your support would be much appreciated, as I'll continue to make videos like this during the off season as well as baseball stuff, and I really need to get off my football hiatus. So let's get on with the moves that are being made. First, let's talk about the Chicago Bulls. Two former Lakers are going there. We'll talk about Lonzo Ball first, and any Bulls fans want this? Yeah, sorry I'm hiding my face, but any Bulls fans here that want this, be willing to give this away? If you want this, let me know. Hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. All the links to my social media are in the description. And I have nothing against Lonzo Ball, by the way, but it's just I have no reason to wear that shirt anymore. So, with Lonzo Ball, this is a sign and trade because Lonzo Ball is a restricted free agent. The Bulls are sending Thomas Satoransky, Garrett Temple, and a second-round pick to the Pelicans for Lonzo Ball, and Lonzo's going to sign a 4-year, $85 million contract. The Bulls were a slightly above average three-point shooting team this season, and Lonzo will definitely make them an even better shooting team. And now that he has an all-star in the backcourt with him, I can definitely see some really good things happening with the Bulls. And we all remember how awful of a shooter Lonzo was in LA. I even got to see it in person one time when I went to a Lakers game while on Christmas vacation. And yeah, he did show some glimpses here and there of eventually becoming a great shooter, but for the most part, yeah, he was terrible as a shooter and at finishing at the rim. More often than not, he couldn't even throw the ball in the ocean if it was right in front of him. But now he's a legit knockdown shooter. He reinvented his jump shot in the best way possible. And on top of that, he's a legit playmaker. And he's also very capable of playing defense, something that he's been able to do since his days with the Lakers. Lonzo has started to shed that bust label in New Orleans, but now with the Bulls, I think he'll shed it even more. I feel you, Mike Korzemba. I think that he has a chance to become an all-star with the Bulls. And also another thing, this is a good way for the Bulls to show Zach LaVine that they are committed to winning because he is an unrestricted free agent next year. So, better late than never to show Zach LaVine that you really are committed to winning. You most certainly better show it to him now before he does leave in free agency. On the Pelicans side of things, I'm just going to keep it short. I'm so sorry, Pelicans fans, that your organization is so diffunctional. Your team just got played. And the other move that the Bulls just made, Alex Caruso is going to the Bulls. That makes me sad. Like, real talk, actually, that makes me sad. We'll get to the Lakers later in this video. I hope you can bear with me before I get to them if you want to hear my thoughts on the Lakers and what they did. But as for losing Alex Caruso, this is actually definitely a bigger loss than what the box score will indicate. The Bulls got an excellent backup point guard. You don't want him as a starter or as your main ball handler because he has had plenty of moments of showing very low IQ with the ball, but he will always give his best effort. As funny as the memes are, he's an excellent perimeter defender. He hustles, he takes charges. He was actually 4th in charges drawn per game this year. He could hit those open threes. I'm sad to see him go. Bulls fans, enjoy. So with Caruso and Lonzo Ball, the Bulls now have much more of a defensive presence in their backcourt. Also, sorry to Alex Caruso that he won't be able to smoke that Cali weed anymore. Now on to the Miami Heat, as they added some championship experience with PJ Tucker and Kyle Lowry. What a sad day in Toronto, isn't it? A guy who unconventionally arguably became the greatest player in their franchise history. Something that I have a video planned for in the future, so I hope you can stay tuned for that. and PJ Tucker, who at 37 still brings a very good 3-and-D presence. And the Miami Heat, as we know, had a Cinderella run to the finals last year in the bubble, but this year they couldn't get healthy and had COVID problems early on. Now with the full offseason and 2 big additions, they should be poised to make another push for the NBA Finals. Now, Kyle Lowry may be getting up there in age, but he did just shoot a career high from 3 at almost 40% on 7.2 attempts per game this past season, and averaged 17.2 points per game, while also being a very solid playmaker for the Raptors. He's known for taking charges. He's a hustle player. Even though he was the 3rd best player on that championship team, he was very much the heart and soul of the team. And this past season, I know he only played 46 games, but regardless of that, I still think that he's very much an upgrade over Goran Dragic. And it's also a great situation for Kyle Lowry for where he's gonna finish his career. And Jimmy Butler just signed a huge extension with the Heat. Look at this. This is crazy, right? I mean, we know the direction of where contracts are headed in nowadays, but still. And now we also got the Phoenix Suns. They just re-signed Chris Paul to a 4-year, $120 million deal. So his AAV will take a slight hit, going from $39 million to $30 million. He'll be making a little over $26 million this upcoming season. The Suns locked him up until he's 40 years old. The Suns are ready to run it back. Although Chris Paul is still a great player, he's not as good as he used to be. However, I still only see Ayton and Booker getting better, and perhaps even Mikal Bridges and campaign. And the Suns just signed JaVale McGee, a nice bench piece to have for lobs and rim protection. I definitely would not be surprised to see the Suns make it back to the finals next season. Not gonna book it, but I definitely would not be surprised. The Knicks re-signed Derrick Rose. That's a nice move that they just made, and they desperately needed a point guard when they got him, and even while no longer the MVP he was back when I was in high school, he definitely filled in the need that the Knicks had, which was a legitimate point guard, and he was their best playoff performer this year. And the Knicks did lose Reggie Bullock to the Mavericks. That's a good pickup for the Mavericks, but for the Knicks, although he was an asset for them as a 3-and-D guy, I think he will be replaceable. And the Knicks also signed Evan Fournier, and while Evan Fournier is not the guy that'll put them over the top, the Knicks really need some offensive firepower. Fournier should be able to provide some, and he definitely gives them some floor spacing and shooting, so it was a good pickup, even though it's quite a big contract. But hey, it's the direction that the NBA, or actually it's the direction that sports are going in nowadays. Also, the Knicks won't be extending Frank Ntilikina. Want to know who the last player that the Knicks drafted that they extended is? Charlie Ward. Yeah. Wow, the Knicks front office has been inept for so many years. Thankfully, Leon Rose is coming in, and he actually knows what he's doing, but geez, they've drafted that many players for all these years that they ended up not extending. The Knicks did re-sign Alec Burks to $30 million for the next 3 years, and Nerlens Noel also for 3 years for $32 million. Both were very key role players for the Knicks this year. Now on to what you've probably been waiting for, where I get to talk about my Lakers. They don't have a lot to work with because they just committed over $120 million to their big three, but they are making some moves. Now, LeBron is actually the longest tenured Laker. Can you believe that? Now, I really like the addition of Wayne Ellington. I remember him being there when the Lakers were absolute garbage. The Lakers need catch and shoot guys more than ever now with Westbrook and LeBron on the same team. They got that with Wayne Ellington. Wayne Ellington's a legit sharpshooter, so I definitely like that move. Also, Kent Bazemore, another guy who was there when the team was absolute garbage. He's coming off a season where he shot 40.8% from 3, but he's also a career 35.6% shooter from 3. I feel like the Lakers will get something in between from him. He is a guy that competes and plays good defense, so that makes him a good addition to me. He's not a great free throw shooter though. That's a downside of this, but still overall I think it's a solid move. Also, welcome back Trevor Ariza. Man, I love Trevor Ariza during that 2009 championship run. Fun fact, he's the only remaining player from that 2009 squad that's still an active player today. Even though, yeah, he's up there in age now, the memories definitely live on. I remember this play right here that I'm throwing right now against the Celtics on Christmas, or also those clutch plays he made on defense against the Nuggets in the conference finals, and he can still be a spot-up shooter, yeah, but he's definitely not going to bring that energy he brought in 09. We know that because he's much older now. But hey, welcome back Trevor Ariza, who was one of my favorite players during that 2009 championship run. And hey, they even brought back Dwight Howard again. You know, I'll tell you that when he left for Houston after the 2013 season, I despised the man. But I welcomed him back with open arms the first time he came back, and he helped bring a championship home. So all was forgiven after that. In fact, I was already forgiving him even before that for even coming back and being able to contribute even with a lesser role to begin with. And I'll most certainly welcome him back with open arms again. Even though he was a net negative for Philly this year, it was clear that the Lakers were definitely missing him for defensive reasons and also as a lob threat. He understands his role. He knows he's not the superstar that he once was and that he's a bench player now. And he's also familiar with what LeBron, AD, and Frank Vogel do. And he was also with them on the ride to a championship, so that's definitely a plus. But also, now that Dwight Howard and Marc Gasol are coming back, both those guys definitely need to be bench players. So Anthony Davis, can you please man up and play center now? And let's have LeBron play the 4. And Frank Vogel, please just demand AD to play center, okay? I know he doesn't like playing center, but he needs to play center. He's got to be a center now. There's no other way around it at this point. And I am wearing an AD shirt, by the way, but still, I just got to keep it real about him. Now, while Kent Bazemore and Wayne Ellington are needed pieces as catch and shoot guys, and also Kent Bazemore for his defense, and Trevor Ariza is a nice piece to have as well, and Dwight Howard, again, welcome back. Kent Bazemore is the youngest out of the guys that we should say are re-additions, since all 4 of these guys have been on the Lakers before at 32 years old. The Lakers are definitely going to need some youth, as Anthony Davis is the only guy under 30 that's currently on the team. Or also, if THT stays, I really hope he does, because he was really developing last season. I'm at least liking the fact that the Lakers are addressing their need for shooting, but age is something that worries me. But on the bright side, at least Dennis Schroeder's not going to get that contract he's so delusional to think he's worth, and Andre Drummond can peace out. And hey, if Schroeder is coming back as a 6th man and willing to take a significant less amount than what he's asking for, I'll be happy to have him back. But if he goes, yeah, I'm not going to miss him when he's asking for that kind of money. And also the fact that he was a reason why this team lost in the first round. And also the fact that he went into health and safety protocols twice this year, showing some irresponsibility. I'm not going to miss Dennis Schroeder. Now, I will give Dennis Schroeder credit for the fact that he was the 3rd best player on the team and he was an excellent perimeter defender this year, but his attitude is something that I will certainly not miss. But because Caruso's gone and Schroeder's likely gone, I do fear, even with what I said about Kent Bazemore, that the Lakers' perimeter defense will take a hit. Even though Russell Westbrook, I do believe, is a better defender than he gets credit for, still, when it comes to defense, yeah, I would like to have Schroeder and Caruso. But even with that said, yeah, if Schroeder wants to go after more money than he deserves, yeah, peace out. And even though Schroeder is most certainly a more talented player than Danny Green, I have more of a reason to like Danny Green than Dennis Schroeder, because Danny Green was a starter on a championship team for the Lakers. Dennis Schroeder's done nothing for me to be thankful for. And in regards to the team's age, before anyone wants to bring up the 2008 Boston Celtics, well, 1, the Big 3 was in their early 30s, not mid to late 30s, and 2, the Celtics had plenty of young guys around them. Rondo was still 21, Perkins was 23, on the bench Tony Allen was 26, Eddie House was 29, and James Posey was 31. Okay, not exactly young, but they certainly weren't old. The Lakers have mostly guys well into their 30s, and that's concerning. Now, last thing I want to talk about actually is Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie is rumored to be signing with the Wizards as I'm recording this. If he does go there, which could happen by the time I upload this, Kyle Kuzma actually might not lose scoring opportunities since Dinwiddie is coming off a torn ACL. If Dinwiddie can get back to full strength, he could definitely be a good piece to rebuild with. Of course, not rebuild around. He's certainly not a franchise player, but he can definitely help a winning team. And that's something that we obviously don't expect the Wizards to be this upcoming season now that they traded Russell Westbrook and look like they will be trading Bradley Beal too. I'm not sure where they'll trade him, but I'd be surprised if he still is a Wizard next season. I guess we'll see. There are Celtics rumors going around right now, but that's all speculation. So, alright, that'll do it for now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys tuning in, and if you made it this far, I hope you can consider liking, subscribing, and ringing the bell for more sports content like this. If you want to get down in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on day one in free agency, I'd absolutely love to hear from you guys. So thank you so much once again, and I will see you next time. Peace.